Welcome everybody to my little expose of Whystic cabinets, what they are, how you can use them, and the basics of how they are installed. Here you see a very sort of one of the plainer Whystic cabinets. This is what I call the square style. It does still have a little bit of a a decoration around there. I couldn't just leave it plain. And here's an example of what you might need for scale. You'll see that it's got a nice hinge, it's got a knob on it, it opens up nicely, and inside you have about 3 inches deep. Why do you have 3 inches deep? Well, because these cabinets are meant to be sunk into drywall, and drywall studs are about 4 inches in depth, so this gives a little bit of leeway for that. Let me show you the back of this cabinet now. I'll get rid of this can, and you'll see that I've designed it to be quite easily slotted together by anyone. No glue is required for this back box. However, glue is required to put the trim on this door, and also to put the trim here, which covers where this slots in, which is also glued on. But this back box is entirely snap fit. Look at the back of the box and you can see that while this box is built to be sunken into drywall, so you have sort of a niche effect, I've actually made it in such a way that you can still affix it externally to a wall. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 screw holes that you can just go inside of the box and put a screw through to the wall. But you'll also notice that in the middle here I've put a temporary hole where you can just kind of hang it on a nail or a screw in your drywall. And as always, use the proper hardware for your particular wall. We wouldn't want it to fall off if you've just put like a tiny finishing nail in a drywall, and it won't work, of course. But once again, I do want to stress that these were designed to be sunken into walls as a niche, and there's a reason for that, because they're meant for escape rooms or puzzle rooms, and customers can get a little rambunctious and a little curious, and they might anything that's on a wall, they generally try to remove from that wall, and sometimes they're not gentle, as some of you might know. Now, I mean, if you're in a temporary situation where you're taking this to a house party or to a corporate event, then definitely this middle bit is good for you if they allow you to screw into the wall. And if they don't, well then just bring your own wall. I mean, I know that sounds a little weird, bring my own wall, but you could easily just make your own panel that's portable enough, and you could hang these on, or for that matter, you could sink them in, and they would still be a nice niche. I love niches for your objet d'art. And your Royal Dalton figurines with hand-painted periwinkles. Okay, so here it is. You've seen it. It's got the hinges, and this is what we call a staple. And that's where your lock fits through. So you have your combination lock for your puzzle, or a keyed lock if they get a key and they can open the door. So you can see this is the square frame, right, with the slightly fancy thing. And I will show you some of the other frames that I have available that will be coming out as options. Here's a very fancy one. This is the Rococo frame. It uses exactly the same box as this one. It's just instead of this square, you have this. So Rococo period is slightly after the Baroque period, about Mozart's time, when there was crazy, wonderful decoration. Oh look, and there's a little piece that hasn't been popped out by the laser yet. There we go, just get rid of that. And then of course we have our Renaissance style, which is very architectural, with the slits to kind of simulate columns, and the architectural top with a finial, and So that gives a very classic sort of old style picture frame look. And then I would say this is the second most popular one that people are talking about. This is the Art Deco frame with the rounded edges and this sort of Chinese style or Greek key style, which was often used in the Art Deco period, edges for that. Just showing you two sides of the laser cut. This is how it comes when it comes to you in kit form. Yes, these are meant for you to assemble. This is how they will look before you paint them. And finally, if you'll just bear with me for a second, I'll let you have a peek at that. And this, and I'll be right back with an example of the Victorian style, which I think it's the most popular. I mean, it's still got that sort of squarish frame, sort of like this one, but it's a little fancier, very much like a very classic picture frame. And then, of course, these two would go very well together because the line of the insert part is very similar to the outside of this. So these two match well together. But, you know, there are the fancier, fun variety styles, and certainly I want to keep expanding this and give you more options for cabinets. There you go. More videos will follow to tell you how to assemble this.